I'll keep my nose on the grindstone, work hard every day. I might get a little tired on the weekend. After I draw my pay, I'll go back working.
Ann Blackwell, Glenda Thrash, Lou Young, Anita Carlisle, and Bonnie Duvall. Each shares something unique in this day and age because while all are women, they've all taken jobs that until 10 years ago belonged to the male.
Well, I'm a good old girl and I've tried to please you every way I can. I've loved you and I've always let you have the upper hand. But how come you think you're so smart and I'm the weaker sex? There ain't no man alive can match a woman trick for trick.
The jobs these ladies hold were once thought to be too masculine. Macho occupations that called for a greasy t-shirt, worn jeans and boots, and a lot of manly sweat. Well, you've got all that, only now under the men's clothing you'll find a woman. And just because they're wearing pants in the family, it doesn't mean they're less the lady.
Because I've always been a sissy. You know, I like pretty things. I love lace and high heel shoes. But now I can afford to buy the lace and the high heel shoes when I'm off.
When Bonnie Duvall joined Gulf State Utilities 7 years ago at the age of 26, she became the first woman equipment operator in the entire system. She operates here at the Sabine Station in Bridge City, monitoring equipment within the plant to make sure everything goes smoothly. But it took a bit of work for everything to go smoothly in Bonnie's quest for this job. Not many folks thought she could cut it, including her husband.
When the time came when women started going into different jobs, well, I said, I'm going to apply for a job. My husband said, you can't pass the test. So I had to try it. I had to prove to him that I could pass the test. And then I passed the test, and he said I wouldn't pass the physical. So I had to pass the physical. Well, then he said I'd never work. So I made 2 weeks, and then there was a guy that bet that I'd never make 6 months. So I had to make my 6 months, and now it's 7 years later.
And then there's Anita Carlisle, 48 years young and a 6-year veteran with Bethlehem Steel Corporation in Beaumont. Anita was a housewife, but she gave that up long ago. Now she tells you, I'm just a welder, and apparently a darn good one, according to her supervisor, Bill Gore.
And she holds her own, she gets her own leads, and she doesn't ask for any help from anybody.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Well, that argument could go on all day, but believe me, there's no hard feelings when it comes to this lady.
It's not like a lot of people say, you know, that they always ribbing and this and that and other. They look at me as one of the boys, I guess. That's the way I feel when I come through that gate. I feel like I'm one of the boys.
Whoa, I'm looking at the world through a windshield, and I see everything in a little bit different light.
And then there's Glenda Thrash, a truck driving woman for 8 years with the Squaw Transit Company in Beaumont. You might think that only a scruff-bearded trucker with 16-inch biceps could turn this big rig around and handle the heavy oil field equipment that Glenda has to haul. But that's just not the case.
But I try to make it easy and just show that I can handle the job as good as they can, if not better.
Back in the office at Squaw Transit is Lou Young. Good-humored, even-tempered, she's been running the company for a year, employing 10 drivers, including 3 women. One, her daughter-in-law, Pat, who's pretty good at handling an 18-wheeler herself. Lou says it doesn't matter what sex you are as long as the job gets done right.
We're not competing, really. We're not. But, you know, today everybody works. And there's some jobs that women can do as good as men.
Just something unusual to do. And being a woman, you get an awful lot of weird looks.
I can wash out 44 pairs of socks and have them hanging out on the line. I can start and iron 2 dozen shirts before you can count from 1 to 9.